Hello! Welcome back to part 8 of starting a new Animal Crossing island. Today we have a lot to do. I kicked off the morning by adding the finishing touches to the library build, and it finally looks complete. I love how peaceful this area feels now. I also decided to create a whole room entirely dedicated to gyroids, because let's be honest, these funky little guys deserve their own space. First up today, a super cute outdoor cafe. I found a build on Pinterest that used this fencing in such a clever way, and I loved how it looks like walls that divide the space, but without closing it off too much. I also wanted this build to flow beyond just the cliffside, and I'm really happy with how it spills down onto the level below. I know that I didn't add chairs to the tables, which definitely defeats the purpose of a cafe, but I just really liked the way that it looked without them. So we are going with vibes over function today. Next up, this build came out of nowhere. I had no idea what to do with this space, so I just kind of threw up some cliffs, and then I had this idea to kind of make this little winding entrance to create this cozy hidden area, and the idea just instantly came to have a cozy hidden tea shop next to the river, and I am completely obsessed. On the cliffs behind it, I added some tables and chairs, and I just love it. I think it is so cute. And even though it was a super simple build that came together quickly, I genuinely think it might be one of my favorites. So I know the words that are about to come out of my mouth will probably be considered a fatal flaw by many, but I don't like the taste of coffee, and instead I have tea most mornings. So honestly, this just feels like my ideal little hangout spot on the island, and I just love it. I added a bridge behind the library and snuck in a little incline here that helps connect to the back half of the island, and it is like the perfect little shortcut. Speaking of this space, kind of behind resident services, I had no idea what to do here. I knew that I didn't want to make the river wider, but I also didn't really want to sneak in a build behind resident services, so instead I just went for pure chaos with a massive unplanned flower field. There's no order, just lots of colorful flowers, and I love the way that it winds along the river all the way down to the cafe. Over by the museum at the base of the orchard, I built another cafe, and this one is dedicated to the most important food group: bread. I've never met a loaf I didn't love, and I just love bread. I love bread so much, so it felt right to have a whole little dedication area to one of my greatest loves. On the beach, I went ahead and placed a few ice cream cases. This build is still in progress, so I will come back to this on another day. And now for the main build of the day, the farmers market. I really struggled with how to place all of the stalls, and so when I was looking at inspiration on Pinterest, I saw this post by Benjamin Crossing, and it helped me so much to figure out how to lay everything out. I split the market into two sections: flowers and plants on the right, and then food and goodies on the left. I also went ahead and widened the path to make it feel a little bit more open and bustling, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. And it only felt right to include a cozy comfort read review in today's video, and it is for The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst, and it is truly one of the cutest, coziest books I have read in a long time. The story follows Keela, an introverted librarian who flees the city after a rebellion takes over and returns to the quiet island where she was born. There, she begins restoring her childhood home and opens a charming little jam shop, which also secretly sells spells to those in need of a little bit of magic. Her neighbor Lauren, who I can only describe as a golden retriever in human form, is, of course, instantly smitten with her and just wants to take care of her so much. And he is honestly one of the sweetest parts about the book. Sweet baby Keela is just so shy and wants to make friends, but just really struggles with how to do so. And the way that this book is so much of her looking at Lauren, who makes friends so instantly and is kind of gravitational, and her thinking like, oh, if only I was a little bit more like that. And this whole book is like, no, like you can be loved exactly as you are, and people want to be with you not because you're outgoing or funny or friendly, but because of you and just the value that you inherently have. And it's just so tender and sweet. Also, Keela has a sentient spider plant named Kaz. Yes, a talking plant, and they are an absolute delight. So sassy, so funny, and just truly added so much to the story. I loved the way that the magic is woven so gently into the story, and the plot kept me hooked. The vibes, immaculate. And I'm not gonna lie, that ending, it had me nervous and sweating, but like in the absolute best way. This is a standalone, and it just feels like the perfect sweet treat, comforting, whimsical, and quietly magical. And Sarah Beth Durst just released another standalone set in the same world, The Enchanted Greenhouse. I haven't read it yet, but I am so excited to dive into it next. Big news, Petrie is moving off the island, which means it is time to villager hunt. First up, we had Julia, who I thought was cute, but just not quite the vibes that we're looking for. And then we had Buzz, whom I actually really like, but again, just not quite the cozy vibes that we're looking for. Next up, we then had an absolute jump scare of a moment because Bert walked out. Like, genuinely scared me. We then had Candy and Cherry, and I was so close to inviting Sherry. She's so cute, so precious, but for some reason I ended up saying no. I then had Plucky and Tipper, who would be perfect for like a farm inspired island, and then Samson, whom I'm genuinely convinced at this point that the mouse villagers are haunting me. We had Cephalobot, who was an easy pass. Then Kurt again. Kurt looks like he was beat up in a dive bar and does not want to be here. And then finally, Chev, whom I just love her. I was so excited to see her. She's so cute. I've had her on a previous island, and I just think she's absolutely adorable. She is going to fit in perfectly here on Oakwald, so I went ahead and invited her to the island. And guys, when I was bebopping around, I found a lily of the valley, which means we have a 5-star island. I ran to Isabel to confirm, and yes, it is official. I definitely want to try reaching 5 stars again in the future without using treasure islands, but this was still such a fun milestone to hit. And then finally, I added some decorations around the museum. I went for like a slightly overgrown ancient ruins vibe, and I really like the way that it turned out. It gives that mysterious history lives here feeling. I then went ahead and threw down some decorations around villager homes, and also I just really love the moon item in this game, and so I wanted to find another place to put it. And since most of the stars that washed up on the beach after wishing on them came from this little area, I just decided to kind of have this celestial theme over here. It doesn't really make sense, but you know what? I got to use the moon and I liked it. But that is it for today's builds. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love getting to share these cozy little updates with y'all. Let me know which build was your favorite and who your dream villager is. I'm always looking for more ideas. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.